Hey everyone, my name is Nathan Pay, and welcome to another episode of Coffee and Crypto. Got a real treat for you guys today. We have David, who's head of community development at MEC, and we're really excited to have him on today. Our research team is super impressed, and I am too, with everything that they're doing over there. In my opinion, they're just doing everything right as far as a metaverse game goes. And we're just really stoked to have David here with us today. Thanks so much for joining us, man.
Hey, how's it going? Glad to be here. Excited to talk about mech.
Yeah, same. So my research team basically got together a whole bunch of questions. So for the sake of time, I'm just going to jump right into it. Um, First thing, one thing we noticed is a lot of the NFT land lots, they have a lot of amazing features, such as like their garages, stores, there's even mini game arenas, you can rent, there's community areas and more. It really feels like you guys are bringing all the best aspects of a Web3 metaverse game into mech. That was something that really impressed us. But I wanted to ask, is this something that was kind of part of the original plan, or has this been a constant evolution over time? And how did you guys kind of get to where you are with all the utility with the land?
Well, I've been here since April. All of those other developmental areas of the company, they go on a little bit over my head, being the head of community development. But
Mhm.
from what I've seen, the evolution of mech has been something very very astounding almost. When
Mhm.
I first found out about the game, it was a set amount of the mechs, and then being the team that they are here at this company, these guys pay attention to everything that goes on out there in the industry, and they know how to constantly adapt and evolve with all of the conditions that are present out here with us. And a
Sure.
lot of the companies out there, they might have stuck to their guns and just been stubborn and stuck in the same situation without trying to grow with the industry. But like the guys at Mech are on another level. Just seeing how they do things, how we've come from a company who was gung ho on breeding and having two tokens, like some of these other projects before us that aren't doing as well today. You know, definitely have evolved along the way.
Okay.
Um, Adding different things, coming up with the best, most efficient forms of utility for our holders. Especially with the land. Everything in this industry, there's a lot of different aspects of it that are constantly evolving, changing by the day.
Mhm.
And our game, our project, our company, like it hasn't been something that's we're following the roadmap that we wrote back in December.
Okay.
So we have changed and evolved along the way, always for the better, and always for with mech.com in mind.
Well, it's really impressed to see kind of where you guys are today. That's why we wanted to ask that question because, like I said, when at our game guild, we research dozens of projects a week, and when we were introduced to you guys, it was like, damn, they're doing everything right. Like we had a hard time finding a hole, to be honest, when we were going through everything, and that really blew us away. So, thanks for answering that. Now, this one's personally for me. Tell me more about the drift arena because that just sounds so fun and I'm really curious to know about that. That's like a racing element to the game that you guys are going to have?
Yeah, and oh man, to be honest, that is the part about the game that right now I'm most excited about too.
Cool.
I've always been a huge fan of the racing games and everything like that. I've even tried to drift my own car out there in the streets. Not
Right.
financial advice, kids, don't do this at home. Leave it to the professionals. But yeah, the drifting racing game is one of the most exciting parts about the game to me. So when it first came out, what everybody is the most excited about is the multiplayer online battle arena. We've got the videos on Twitter where it's 5 mechs in the arena. Everyone's
Yeah.
got their machine guns. You're driving around, getting out of the way of the other mechs, moving around the other obstacles, and it's the last mech standing is going to be the winner. This
Mm.
drift arena, it's there's a set entry fee. There's 7 of them in there. There's not just one mech's going to win. There's going to be multiple winners, and that's something that I've been hyped about because racing games are my thing.
Okay, cool.
And even before this was announced, I was talking to the team and I'm like, man, we've got all these mechs. These things look like they would be kick ass in a racing game.
Right.
And, me knowing that our land is going to have this incredible utility to make games inside of our game, I was teasing them. I'm like, hey guys, I know you're not going to let the head of community development make a better game than the actual game creators. So, you know, a month later, they're like, "Oh, hey, Mr. 10x, we're gonna drop a racing game."
Nice. There you go. So you had a hand in
Yeah.
that. Okay, so you guys have the battles, there's the drift arena, there's also the match 3. It seems like you guys have a little bit of everything for someone. And I'm really kind of curious because you've got the mini game creation on the lands. Do you guys plan on adding in more game features, or are you just going to leave it for the mini game creation?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's like I tell the people in the mech.com Discord server, this is just the beginning. These three games are what we're going to be releasing to the community, to all the players out there in the beginning. We've got the drifting battle arena match 3, and we've got plans for a lot more. There's also an incredible amount of potential for all of the players, all of the members out there to make their own game and build on what we've built. It's entirely possible because of one of their previous companies. Our CEO and CTO, they built a company, BuildBox, which pretty much lets anybody out there create a game, create an app, and sell it on the App
Mhm.
Store. So, using those principles, they came over to Web3 and they're like, look, guys, we got to make sure that there is a simple and easy way for the community, for all of the players out there to get the same kind of experience that they got with us in Web2. So, here we are with the land letting you make your own game. And these three, like I said, it's just the beginning. And being that they have all of this experience from Web2, all of this experience in the gaming industry, we know that there is no one size fits all.
Mhm.
And that's one of the main driving forces behind these mini games in the land.
That's awesome. That actually ties directly to my next question because I was going to mention you guys have a pretty amazing team. If you spend a little bit of time just kind of looking into the background, the history, what a lot of your team members have accomplished, it's incredible to see that come together in one project, and specifically in gaming. So, do you mind elaborating a little bit more on that? I know you kind of touched on the build a box there, but what is that? What kind of brought everything together? Was they decided, hey, we need to move into Web3. We've got all this experience. Let's do that, and then it went from there. Like, how did you guys get such a stellar team to come together for a project like this?
Well, our CEO and CTO, Trey and Nick, these guys have been together kicking ass in the gaming industry for a really long time.
Okay.
Nick has worked on Lord of the Rings, Pirates of the Caribbean, a few
Hmm.
world-class gaming projects. Trey is, and they also together founded BuildBox and Kaya Big Games. So Kaya
Right.
Big Games was a huge gaming company. At one point, they had 8 of the top 10 apps on the App Store. So, these guys have been kicking ass and taking names in the gaming space for a really long time. After those exits, they started thinking about, hey, how can we get into this whole blockchain thing? It seems like it's really taking off. We really need to find a way to bring everything that we can do over to this new space where it
Mhm.
seems like there's a huge lack of, solid, fun, entertaining games. So, you know, uh, I've heard a few stories from Trey, but I'm going to try to get him on the show here for you sometime in the future so he can
That'd be great.
actually tell it from himself. But, you know, uh, played around with a few things in the industry before really landing at Mech. And,
Okay.
as soon as they put these things on sale, went so fast and they realized they're like, all right, we really, really have something here. And, from that point, just completely took on a mind of its own, like almost like a Web3 artificial intelligence. Like the mech.com we have now isn't the mech.com that they started back in December. And that's something that I feel every successful Web3 company should at least experience at one point or another.
Mhm.
The evolution of what a community does to your company.
Absolutely. And maybe let's talk a little bit about that because I've been really impressed with your community, the way you guys stay engaged with everybody, the announcements, like you're really on top of that communication. I feel like a lot of other projects could take a note from that. I feel like some don't communicate enough, and that's obviously where a lot of FUD can ensue for certain projects. You guys are super on top of that. You're doing lots of AMAs. You were super eager to jump on here with us. We really appreciate that, of course. Thank you. But I just want to talk to you a little bit about that. What's the strategy with the community kind of moving forward? Are you guys going to continue to do these AMAs? And what got you to be so involved with the community? Did Mech realize a while ago how important it was, or is that kind of why you came on and helped them out on the team mostly?
Well, yeah, that was my area on the team. When I first came on, my official title was Chief Degen Officer, and that was a bit of an inside
Love it.
joke going on around there in the company. I was, the community manager, basically the
Yep.
guy in the Discord holding it down, making sure that all the new members got accustomed, situated, felt
Hmm.
comfortable in the gaming space, and it was really important for us because of the prior companies that our team has worked on. Like I was saying before, Trey and Nick, they worked with a lot of Web2 gaming companies and know what they're doing with business. So when they
Yep.
first started, a lot of the members, a lot of the advertising and marketing campaigns they're doing were targeting these Web2 users. So a huge
Hmm.
amount of our initial customers and members in the Discord did not really know much about crypto, weren't
Okay.
super comfortable in the space, and it was on me, it was on our COO Kyle, a big help, and taught me a lot of what I know now about the community aspect of the space. But yeah, being in there in the trenches with the community. And in the beginning, everybody from mech.com will tell you that I was literally there 12 hours, 18 hours a day, just talking to people, getting to know the community day in and day out, making sure things went right. God forbid a scammer tried to come to mech.com server, they would end up banning me for the kind of shit that I would say to them. So, protecting the community, making sure that they're educated, they know what's going on, and they're constantly engaged is, something that Kyle taught me was important. And it's a big part of what I brought to mech.com as the community manager. And, another huge part of something that I think makes a successful community manager, and, you just need to have this aspect on your team, is
Mhm.
someone who can understand and translate all the different languages of crypto.
Yep.
It might not seem like it. Everybody speaks English, but there is the language of the developers. There is the language of the marketing team. There is the language of the executives. There is the language of the Discord server. There is the language of the
Hmm.
DJs. And anyone in crypto, what that term means.
Yep.
But yeah, that's something that I just had a natural talent of being able to hear the developers explain something in nerd to me, and then going to the Discord server and translating that to plain English to the community, and vice versa for all of the different teams that we've got going on there in Mech.
Wicked, man. But like I said, we've been super impressed with the project, but the community is something that personally blew me away. You can really tell how much time and effort you put into it. It really shows. And I think a lot of other projects could take a note from you guys on that,
Yeah.
honestly. Okay, wicked. Now, if someone wanted to get started, and I've kind of got two ways to approach this question. Let's say someone wanted to get started with a limited amount of capital. What would be the best way to do it? And then let's say maybe a game guild with a little bit more capital, kind of a larger allocation. What would be the best way to go about that right now, currently?
Well, I mean, I would say for your basic player, all you really need, if all you're trying to do is play the game, all you need is one mech.
Okay.
And in the past, we've had all different sorts of sales. We've had some that started at $150 all the way up to $450 for one. Being that the markets are as volatile as they are today, Ethereum could be up or down 20% on a daily basis. If you really want to get in, you could, watch the markets, and you'll find a good deal of something that won't be too expensive, and they won't really be out of anyone's price range. That's just for these mechs. And one other thing that we are working on, and we've been talking about in a lot of these AMAs, is having a more affordable version down the line, even a free to play version, when we're
Okay.
trying to get the entire world involved. Being that we've got a game and it's on mobile, having something that's affordable and free even is, one thing that we're really trying to focus on, because the goal of these games is to, have millions of players. We want to be that game that's got the entire world going in with us.
Okay, what are the main differences between the zones? Like we've got the Citadel, there's Gibson Bay. What's kind of the if I'm a player looking in, where do I want to go? And what's kind of the differences between them?
Well, these are the three original three original cities of New Mexico City. And we've got a few internal jokes going around. It's basically like the five boroughs of New York City, because
Right on.
two of these areas are split in two. So there's three main cities, but five areas in there.
Hmm.
They're all going to have a different kind of look, different kind of feel, different vibe, different energy to it. According to the lore and our storyline, there's different things going on there. Each mech has got its own area in there. Some of them are fighting against each other. There's the elite mechs, and then there's the rebels who are kind of going up against society. And down the line we're going to release our lore, which is really good. This stuff has me reading, and I'm not a reader,
Right
but
on.
yeah. So the cities, basically each city has a different kind of vibe, different energy to it, different types of arena. The Degen Fields is gonna have the Degen Fields arena, which is super super exclusive, and that's where you get to go and put your mechs up on the line. And a big part is going to be risk based gaming. So
Okay.
if you've got the skills, you can put up a certain amount of ore against another player. You guys duke it out, and last one standing, you get extra ore because you both agreed to put it up. And you can do the same with your NFT. And doesn't get more degen than that in this industry. So we felt that that was a really good really good place to have that one. The sprawl is going to have this drifting arena, which is
Hmm.
going to be the place that I'm going to be. These really cool looking towers, almost like the skyscraper of mech. And I've got some land in there. I'm going to be inside that skyscraper, drifting it out with the rest of the community. And we
Nice.
haven't announced what we're going to do with the first city that we put on sale.
Okay.
And we're still working that out. We want to make sure that it's something exciting and very special, because this is the one city that it's not split up into two like the other ones. So
Hmm.
we're still working on what we're gonna be having in this special arena, but it's gonna be like the other two. It's gonna have its own kind of unique vibe going on there. And
Okay.
we're really excited to get that out to the community really really soon.
That's awesome.
But all of the different types of land, all of the sizes, all of the utility, everything that you can do with it, it's all going to be the same. So there's
Okay.
no really one city is better than the other. uh, One large plot of land in Gibson Bay is going to be better than one large plot of land in Degen Fields. But it's up to the players. And like we do with the mini games, there's no one size fits all. So we want to have different sorts of vibes and energies in there for the different kind of players that are going to be in our game.
That's awesome. Well, I'm really excited for the wager matches that you were calling, is what I would say. There's only a few titles that I actually know of that are even doing something like that, but at Blue Ocean
Mhm.
Games Guild, we really focus on esports competitions, skill-based
Mhm.
play to earn projects. That's super interesting to us because that tells me that the better you are at the game, the better your potential of earnings could be. And really, if you can figure out what your win percentage is, if it's above 50%, you're going to come out on top. And I think that's going to add a lot of intensity to streaming, YouTube content creators. I just imagine putting up your NFT as ante. That's going to be a pretty freaking intense battle if that's going to be the
Mhm.
case. Even if it's just for some ore, maybe not just the NFT, but maybe some resources, which are hard earned. Maybe you spent a while kind of building that up. So that's something we're super stoked about. And I feel like if I had to pick, I'd probably pick Degen Fields to start just for that very reason. But it is hard. It is tough. I also think about what are you guys going to do with that original city, and maybe that would be worth it too. It's hard. I feel like I want a piece of land in all of the places at this point. Well, thanks for
Yeah.
answering that, man. That's really exciting. We've got two more questions left for you here. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about breeding because this is something that was pretty popular back in the bull run, in January. We've seen a lot of other titles do it. There was a little bit of information we kind of found about if it was happening, maybe it's not. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Do you know if that's something that you're going to be implementing? And yeah, maybe you could just kind of take it away from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you couldn't have said it better. Back when these games were on the up and up, breeding was all of the rage. There
Hmm.
were some project founders were going as far as saying breeding could cure world hunger one day. And look where we are after that. Just a few months later, and it went from one of the most incredible
Hmm.
things about this industry to one of the most hated. And there are responsible ways to do it, but having an unlimited inflationary token combined with uncontrolled breeding is a recipe for disaster, and it really does nothing except enrich the owners of the project. And being the responsible game creators and company that we are here at mech.com, the last thing we want to do is come across as trying to do some kind of cash grab, or implementing something that's not in the best interest of the game long term. So there's been times where our guys Trey and Kyle, sometimes they say no, sometimes they say yes, sometimes they say maybe. We don't know exactly what we're going to do with it yet.
Okay.
It's a hot topic of conversation. Learning new things about the industry every day, talking to different industry professionals every day, and once we do decide how we're going to implement that in the game, if at all, getting it out there to the community, making sure it's well known, the process and how it's going to work is going to be one of the most important things on our agenda. So as
Awesome.
of now, nothing set in stone. Don't want to say yes, don't want to say no, but
Mhm.
whatever we do is going to be for the best of mech.com.
Awesome. Okay, appreciate that. And what's the best place for people to follow you guys to stay up to date? Where would you recommend that they follow you on? I know Discord's obviously a big one for you guys, but yeah, anywhere else?
Yeah, but definitely join the Discord.
Mhm.
Discord is /mech NFT. Our Twitter, follow us on Twitter /mech NFT. One easy place to grab a whole bunch of information. We've got videos up there. Mech.com, the one of the most coveted names in the gaming industry. That
Right?
is a one hell of a domain name.
I'd say.
Yeah, guys. Mech, Mech.com, our Twitter, Discord, Instagram are pretty much our main platforms to deliver information. Another thing you really want to do is actually follow our CEO and COO. Our
Mm,
CEO Trey, like I was saying before, he loves the drama. He's an exciting guy. Sometimes he'll just go on there on Instagram Live and drop some secrets about the game. He might just
ooh,
open a
okay.
Twitter space out of nowhere and be like, "Hey guys, you want to know something about mech? Let me tell you this," and just drop bombs on the community. And he's done that in the Discord too. Out of nowhere, I'll be hanging out talking to the guys in Discord, and Trey comes in like, "Hey guys, sale's gonna happen then. We don't know what we're gonna be doing, but these mechs might have this benefit in the game." And I'm like, "Damn, Trey, like I would appreciate a little heads up." But that's just the kind of team that we got over here.
That's awesome. Well, I really appreciate that. And last question for now, because we're running a little short on time. I feel like we could keep going for quite a while. This has been a great interview, David. I really appreciate you spending the time coming on to answer these questions. But what's next? I know things are obviously always evolving and changing, but what do we got to look forward to coming around the bend here?
Yeah, well, for us at mech.com, we've done quite a few different NFT sales. We've had 11 different sales because we do them in limited collections rather than
Mhm.
just putting a whole 10,000 NFT set out there. In the Recently, we've just done our three cities of the land. That's out of the way. So now our main focus is just getting these mini games out here, done and ready for the community to really enjoy and play with us. Me
Awesome.
personally, I can't wait to play this game. I'm lucky enough to be able to test it with some of the guys at the company, and they don't even like to test it anymore because I would be practicing by myself over here, and I beat all of them now. So they might still be playing it, but I'm not a part of those company games anymore. But yeah, the main thing, our main focus is getting these games out, getting it out, done and delivered to the community, and we'll figure out the next steps from there. Right now we're doing a lot of marketing and an awareness campaign. We're not selling anything. We just want to make sure that as many eyes are put on mech.com as possible.
Wicked. Well, I know everyone at Blue Ocean Games Guild is super excited for the ability to play, and we're going to be following you guys really closely. And of course, I'd love maybe to have you on here in a couple more months. We could do a follow up maybe after the launch and we can actually play. I think that would be freaking awesome. Well, thank you.
Sounds good.
And thank you so much for joining us today, man. I really appreciate your time. And thank you for all our viewers who are tuned in. Of course, I'll have all the links and everything that he mentioned down in the description below. So you end up in the right place. And like he said, make sure to drop in on their Discord. Great community. You can ask any questions that you like. I'm sure they'll help you out nice and easy. Also, their Twitter. And of course, the website. Like you said, there's some awesome videos on there. That's where we found a lot of our great information. So really appreciate everyone's time today. Thank you so much. Until next time, cheers.